Hey everyone, welcome to the latest episode of the FieldCast. We are at day 2 of LandOpt's annual Operations Field Day event. And one of the really great things about this event is not only the networking and the education that goes on among the LandOpt members, it's also an opportunity for them to meet with some of the industry's best suppliers. So we've got as one of our special guests today, a LandOpt valued channel partner member from SiteOne, Rob Fogg. Thanks so much for being here.
You bet. Absolutely.
Appreciate you supporting LandOpt. And people are probably familiar with SiteOne, but you've got how many locations all around North America?
We've got 600 plus branches across the entire country, 4 distribution centers across a wide area. So, supply to our customers is not that big a deal.
Okay, so pretty much everything that they might need, you've got or can get,
That's
even
correct.
when things might be a little tight. So what is your outlook for the rest of the year as far as supply chain issues, both the availability of products as well as cost?
So one of the things that we've seen from an industry standpoint is a lot of the things that are driving, people are talking to us all the time about increasing prices and that kind of thing. So we're seeing materials costs increase and transportation costs increase. I mean, that's really no secret to anybody. Everybody's feeling some of that in some way, somehow, some form, in lots of different areas. So that's primarily what's driving some of the things with us that we're seeing.
Expectation of maybe some relief as we get through the year?
Maybe some. We've had some of the products that we have, we've seen some slight decreases, but then in others we've seen some somewhat high increase, a large increase, 20-25% in some of them. But I think for the most part, we'll see it stay pretty steady for the next couple of months. Not real sure what 2023 looks like at this point yet, because that changes every day.
Who knows, as the saying goes.
Right.
So with that being the backdrop, what do you suggest to contractors? How can they best manage to the ups and downs of things being available, of price increases? What do you suggest?
So one of the comments that I always use with the industry that we're in is, don't step over a dollar to pick up a dime. I mean, I see a lot of companies looking, and rightly so, they should be looking to maximize their savings, maximize their dollars, maximize the value that they that they can get for what they're purchasing. But you got to remember also, when you buy less expensive product, you get less expensive results. And a lot of the customers that we deal with, these landscape contractors and those that are in that industry and in that business, the main thing that they have that they use as leverage and use for value is their name. And when they're putting their name on something, a product, a service, or whatever that is beneath the standards of what they're doing, then that creates a problem for them.
Any advice for contractors, more big picture, long term, aside from the ups and downs of the prices of supply chain right now, anything that they can do to use a company like SiteOne to their advantage to improve their efficiency, improve their profitability?
Absolutely. One of the things that I don't think a lot of contractors, a lot of the businesses take advantage of are the services that a company like SiteOne has. A perfect example of this is we have a service called PX3. And, I know a lot of contractors like to go out and walk properties and take their measuring wheels and do all of this and figure square footages and look at the product, and they should, but one of the services that we provide, and it's free to a lot of these customers, is what we call PX3. And if they let us know what this property looks like, the addresses, if they can provide us an overhead like a Google Maps or satellite, Google Earth photo of that piece of property, we can actually put it into our system. We can run it through a lot of filters. We can tell them what the square footage of turf is. We can tell them the square footage of beds. We can tell them how many trees are on the property. We can, if that's going to become a point of business or a place of business for them, a contract for them at some time, we can even run and do material takeoff lists for different things. We can tell them how much fertilizer they need. We can tell them how much pre-emergence, we can measure all of that stuff and provide that for them. And that's for free of charge.
That's got to be a huge, huge time saver.
Absolutely. That's the big thing. Time is money, especially in this business.
And your people are probably better at doing that than many contractors might be, because that's what they specialize in, and you've got all the systems and the processes to do that.
That's correct. We have a whole division that does that, a whole project services division that's all they do all day long, is they look at that stuff and work on bids, work on quotes, work on plans like this for contractors, and we can provide that stuff for really easily for them.
Well, I know LandOpt is very pleased that SiteOne is a channel partner, and with that comes some benefits for LandOpt members. You've got some special promotions that you do with LandOpt, is that correct?
That's correct. We, because they're our national account, they're a little bit different than the normal, typical customer that SiteOne deals with, right? So what we try to do from a national account standpoint is do quarterly promotions, seasonal promotions. I provide them to the marketing manager, the operations managers here at LandOpt. She puts them in PDF forms and in email forms and sends them out in blasts to every member of the network, for them to look at and evaluate and see if that's something that's worth the time and effort for them to work on.
Well, certainly, as you mentioned, everybody looking at ways to get at least the most bang for their supply chain dollars. That sounds like a real benefit to have available.
Absolutely, okay. Yeah, and that's what we're here for. We're here to help them grow, because if they're growing, we're growing, and we become a partner then at that point.
So for anybody who may not be using SiteOne or is not terribly familiar with all that you offer, what's the best source of information?
I would recommend a couple things. Number one, we're all over the internet, SiteOne.com. They can go take a look at that and look at all the products, look at the branch locations. They can tell where the closest branch location is to where they are located. We have a branch locator there that's pretty easy to find. And then, just stop by. Stop by some of our branches. Well, like I said, we've got 600 branches across the country, 600 plus, and walk in and just find somebody and talk to them. Tell them what you're looking for, and they'll be happy to help.
Okay. Rob, some great advice, some good information, especially on how contractors can manage through this very difficult time right now. So thank you for being a part of the FieldCast. Thanks for being here at the LandOpt event, and we will see you on the next episode of FieldCast.
Thanks.